this party. All right, you guys, super pumped to have you on tonight on our every other week VIP call. You guys, I just wanted two big wins before we start tonight. It's going to be one of our shorter ones. I'm just going to go over some mindset stuff tonight. We've kind of been on that path of not just our physical nature, but also our mental nature and how it just ties all in. And unless our mental nature continues to grow and change, our body struggles to follow that. And so as we're just continuing to grow in our headspace and our heart space, our body follows, our health follows. And so it's such a big piece. Let's go. Haley, you're on your like first week and a half. I know you're busy. If you have 2 seconds,
Yeah.
what's your biggest win from the week?
I would just say staying super consistent with my nutrition, pretty much hitting my numbers,
Awesome.
and got all my workouts in. So
Way to go.
with a busy end of school year with my
Yes.
kids and everything going on, so I would say that was probably a win for me.
Huge. Haley, I love it. I love it. Renee, give me one too.
Probably, um, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to stay eating good.
Yes.
Um, trying not to overeat and then not snack at night because I'm a big nighttime snacker, like
Yeah.
really bad. At like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I like to eat chips. So I've been good about not doing that with when I did the challenge. So
Yeah. Let's keep
um,
that going.
yeah, I'm trying to keep that going, and I'm still trying to eat. I still want to not deprive myself of my favorites, but just
Yeah.
make sure I find a day when we usually eat out on the weekends, and so that's when I try to save that for if we eat out, or like tomorrow we have my daughter's school does like Domino's Spirit Night where proceeds go to the
Oh, nice.
school
Yeah, yeah.
order, and it's the last one before school lets out. And I was like, okay, we'll do this one. So
Go
tomorrow
enjoy.
we're going to get like a small pizza or some cheesy bread or something, just something
Absolutely.
small. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Out turkey hunting. I'm currently listening. I bet that is Randy. Randy's probably out turkey hunting. I hope he gets one. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're learning some balance and you're taking some of those things from that 45-day challenge and just implementing them. I mean, we can't be obviously when we have big goals, we have to move forward with big goals, but we have to find sustainable ways to live. Otherwise, we just turn into another fad diet, and that's not what this is about. So I'm glad that you're just learning to set boundaries with yourself and setting your goals in front. That's what we all need to be doing. So I love to hear that. You guys, we're going to jump into the mindset portion of tonight. This has been something that I've actually been thinking about, and I had struggled putting it into words for the last like 7 weeks. And it was from the 45-day challenge. Actually, there's a few people in here that were in that. And on that 45-day challenge, it was really that piece of I wanted us to come out of autopilot. And that piece we can get so easily in life in general be on this autopilot mode where everything in society has been really adjusted and morphed to be very convenient for us. So we can go about our day and hardly even think. Now, don't take me wrong on this. I love that I don't have to churn butter and that I can just go buy butter for my bread. I love that I can go to the grocery store. And so there's those things that I'm like, I am completely thankful for the convenience. But if we're not careful, we get to a point where the convenience can rule us and we can start to lose our consciousness on the decisions we make. And why is it that we do that? I saw this as a big part of my program, and why my goal with you guys is to break us out of that state and to really live a life that's not on autopilot, but one that is living beyond the linear confines of average. And so my goal with each one of you is that it works as a tool for you. The program works as this tool, much like an axe, right? You have an axe, but you actually have to swing it. So we give you the tools. You actually swing it to cut down your own tree. That means it's going to take an effort. That means it's going to take doing things differently. If we're on autopilot, we just do the things the same way. We don't even really have to consciously change anything to ever see a difference. And most time, if we're in that state, we do never see a difference. And that's part of the reason why we all get in different situations in life. That's why we find ourselves 50 pounds overweight, or we get stuck in the rut, or we're in a depression or a struggle, or whatever it is that you're particularly struggling with. We allow life to make the decisions for us versus us living life on our own terms. And when we're on autopilot, everybody makes the decisions for us. It's much like getting on a surfboard and choosing to ride the wave that you want to ride versus just grabbing hold of a life ring and being pulled through the waters of life. It's much more fun to be able to jump on your surfboard and sit there and just ride the waves. And then when you see your wave that you want to ride, you can get up on your surfboard and ride that wave the exact way that you want to. You can crash in the water the exact way you want to. You can get it rolled in the water versus just being pulled through the waters of life. It's way more fun. It's way more creative. It's way more authentic when we start being conscious in our day-to-day life. And we don't think that we're necessarily unconscious because we set our alarm, we we get up, we do those things, but then we can get to the end of our day and we can be like, man, like this day really wasn't any different than yesterday or the day before or the day before. And like that's a daunting thought too. So a lot of times we get to that point where it's like we don't even want to face that that's what our life can look like. Because that in itself can cause us to go into that like, oh crap, like I don't like the way that looks. And that's a hard darkness sometimes to have to face. But knowing that at any moment you get to choose the next thing, and that next thing just might be like, I'm just going to go for a hike at a different place today. Like, I'm going to choose me on that, or I'm going to choose whatever that is. Uh, So much, I think, of living off autopilot comes down to you remembering who you actually are. And we've talked a little bit about that. You get to choose the outcome of every single one of your days. That you're choosing whether or not to get up in the morning and eat a breakfast that totally aligns with your goals. It's you remembering that you're the person that has the energy that lights up the room every time you walk in. It's you remembering the way you feel when you work out and you are filled with endorphins and you love that feeling, but forgetting that you can live all day like that. It's really you remembering that you can confront everything that you put in your mouth, that you have control of that. It's you controlling and remembering how much you want to scroll on social media or not. And so it's also us remembering that we don't have to compare ourselves to anybody else. It's we don't have to compare ourselves to what an expectation that our parents maybe put on us. It's really remembering that everything falls on you. It's you also giving yourself permission that even if you've failed in the past, and you've gone all in and you thought you did everything you could and you failed, it's you giving yourself permission that you can go all in again. That just because you didn't maybe get there in the past, that you can still go again today. And that you don't have to be afraid to do that. That you don't have to be afraid of letting yourself down. Because it's all part of your journey. It's all getting back up on that surfboard and choosing to jump in the pipeline. That's really what living off autopilot is to me. And so it's really the subconscious becoming the conscious. When we're doing things that are, or when we're questioning why we do the things we do, those subconscious things that we don't even know we're doing now become into the conscious mind. And when all of those things become to the conscious mind, then that autopilot is being taken off. And we get to be creators of our day. We get to be co-creators of our day with the creator. What's better than that? Because that's the power and authority that we really have. And so a lot of this is just remembering this power, remember this authority that's been given to us, that's been placed in our hearts. And so it sounds super simple, but what if we actually believe this? What if we actually believe that every single day that we have that authority and that power, that we can remember who we actually are and take ourselves off of autopilot and view ourselves the way we actually are? Because that really starts becoming the root of why we're on autopilot. Is the way we view ourselves is much out of alignment than the reality of who we actually are. And so we have to remember and see ourselves as we are in order to then come off of autopilot. It's much of the awakening. It's such of this awakening of authority. It's awakening of who we actually are. It's kind of like this. If you have $1 billion in the bank, but you don't know it, are you able to pay your bills? Like you're not going to ever pull out your checkbook You're not going to pull out your credit card because you think nothing's in there. So much of this is it's right here. So much of it is just how we view it. And so when you start realizing you have $1 billion in the bank, like man, everything starts to change. Every viewpoint that you're making and in the whys of what you're doing comes down to, hey, like I'm choosing to do this because I'm seeing myself as I am, and I know it's going to make the impact on my family, and I know that's going to make the impact on the community, and that's just going to continue to just go out. And the pressure really comes off of you because now it's like I don't have to do anything but be me. That's really freeing versus I'm that comparison game that I'm trying harder, I'm doing this. We can just take our life off of the autopilot and be ourselves. And so that's my challenge, much of even just in this program from our food, our training, all of those things is yes, I want it to be flowful. I'm always working at those things of like, how do I make my onboarding better for people to make it smoother? How do I make, okay, how can Jackie go about her day smoother? How can Adam fit this into his schedule? All of these things. Yes, I want that to be convenient for all of you so you can make it happen. But there's still that effort piece that we're like, okay, yeah, like I'm going to choose to not be on this autopilot piece. And I'm going to look at my calendar ahead of time. I'm like, yep, that's when I'm walking this day. That's when I'm hitting my 20, 30 minutes of weightlifting. Okay, cool. I'm going to hit my little bit of meal prep because I know my lunches are on the go Sunday afternoon. And then Wednesday, I'm going to take that hour and I'm going to make some things for Thursday, Friday, or looking ahead. It's really just looking ahead, pulling off of autopilot and going all in on you and your life because you get to jump on that surfboard and ride that pipeline exactly the way that you want to. Surf's up. You guys, I'm super pumped. I've been thinking about that a lot in the last 45, 50 days. Cindy, she was in the 45-day challenge as well. And that's just been like this big piece. I went on this walk today and I voice memoed this out and kind of spoke it out to me. I always wish I could deliver it in a call the same way I say it in my head when I'm out walking. But it's one of those things like you just have to continue to take that time for yourself. You have to continue to not be afraid to look into those pieces that maybe you don't like, but you're afraid to look at. And so I'm just encouraging all of us to just continue to look into those things, choosing you every single day. Take, even if it's 5 minutes that day. There's some days you're gonna have an hour, there's some days you're gonna have 5 minutes. Either one of that, you just give yourself the grace and it's really good. So I'm proud of all you guys. I appreciate you jumping on. That's our 15 minutes. My internal time clock with this 15 minutes is money. Let's go. You guys, if you need anything,
Okay, you want to
don't
tell him?
We took a
hi.
walk.
What's that, Emma?
We took a walk after
You
school.
got your walk in? That's what I'm talking about, girl. I love it. I saw a picture of it. You guys,
She
thank you
told
for
me.
Go
She
ahead.
told me that she had to take her walk after school so she could get stronger. So
Hey, see, you're living by example, man, right there.
we're trying.
Hey, I love it. You guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and let's crush the rest of our week.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks.
Yes, Adam.
No, I was just saying thanks.
You're welcome, brother. See you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.